Hey, today we're going to join a huge crowd of people following Jesus, just like me and you. He sees their hurts and pains and cares for them in many ways.
Just like he cares for us?
Right. And he leads them to a mountain.
Right. And we're going to that mountain
We
in
are.
our imagination. We're going to imagine that we are on that mountain where Jesus is giving his Sermon on the Mount and giving the Beatitudes and all the things we've been talking about for this last few weeks. So,
That's right. And so, in Jesus' time, people believed the mountains were holy and special places to be with God. Maybe because they reach high into the sky.
right, and that's where they thought heaven was. So Jesus told them about God's kingdom on this mountain. You can think of a kingdom as the way the world works or is set up under a president or a prime minister or a king.
Right.
In God's kingdom, there is abundance.
Boom!
Plenty of love, honor, money, and resources for every child of God to thrive.
That's right. To live and thrive. Now, in Matthew 5:8, Jesus says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God."
Jesus cares about our bodies, our hearts, our minds, how we act, feel, and think. Let's all put a hand on our hearts right now. Place both of them, one of them. In our bodies, the heart is the center of our body. Our beating heart is what keeps us alive. The heart is also the center of how we live our lives.
What we most want and need, what we feel, and what's important to us are all carried out in our hearts. What we carry in our hearts has a big impact on the actions that we take and the choices we make.
And when we're talking about our heart, we're also talking about our mind. Our heart and our mind are connected. The inside of us directs the outside of us.
There you
This
go.
is why the heart, the inside of us, is so important to Jesus. It's why Jesus said, the pure in heart will be blessed.
To be pure in heart is to show love for God, neighbor, and yourself in how you act, speak, and think. That's simple.
Yes, our integrity is an important part of this. You are a person of integrity when your outside actions match the person who you are on the inside.
Integrity means working toward wholeness for yourself and creating that same kind of wholeness in our world.
When your heart is pure, you also want wholeness for everyone else. When you live from your integrity and purity of your heart, you do kind and helpful things because you love God and you love your neighbor.
You aren't focused on how it makes you look or what kind of reward might be in it for you. Maybe you empty the dishwasher because you know that's a way to show love to the grown-up in your life.
Yeah.
That's why I do it.
Or maybe you clean up your toys and markers because this makes the house a nice, safe, loving place for everyone in the family. Not so you can earn an allowance or more screen time, but just so someone won't step on it and go, ah! So it's more safe and more clean.
That's why I do it. Purity of heart helps us make outward choices based on love and a desire for wholeness in ourselves and in our world. We will show compassion, mercy, and love because we know that's what we're created to do and who we are created to be. And when we do, we will see God.
We see and experience God's presence when we see the fruit of God's Spirit. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control.
Our eyes will open to the ways we see people caring for one another and the ways we experience it ourselves. And seeing how God is present in our midst gives us the encouragement and hope we need to keep going.
Yes. And just in case you guys didn't get a chance to watch the book that I read, maybe you or your mom or dad can find it on House Church website. And I read a book last week to you guys called Maybe God is Like That Too. And it showed a child going through the city and seeing people doing nice things or loving things. And just what we were talking about, the fruit of the Spirit. And the child said, wow, maybe God is like that too. And that's how we see God is in each other.
Right.
Don't you think?
That's exactly right. Well, let's get back to our Zoom call now, and let's discuss some of this and find out what all that really means.